What's happening, my beautiful people? My name is Dirty Mike, and today, my friends, we have the ultimate shielding tutorial. And I say ultimate because I've got variety. We have a collection, and most importantly, I'm showing you how effective the shield can be used in different scenarios, different circumstances, and different variations where we score goals. And I'm not taking shots, I just want to bring emphasis on scoring goals because I make sure in my tutorials and my tips videos to give you examples of me actually putting the ball into the back of the net. I'm not rushing this. I take a little bit of some additional time in order to gather the right clips from FUT Champs, Division 1, FUT Draft. And if you appreciate that, please drop a thumbs up, share the video around the community, and get in those comments. Which goal did you like best? Because we're going to have, I'm talking at least 10 goals, maybe more, in terms of the breakdowns and the freeze frames and the examples. I'm thinking closer to 15. But without further ado, let's get this underway. Let me start out by saying embrace the skill games. And I'm in a dribbling skill game at the gold level. And that's what we're going to practice before we get into matches, before I get into some more of the freeze frames. The shielding, because you need a defender to go up against. And many people aren't that familiar with shielding, and they added the 360 shielding effect, which is new to FIFA 17. And if you're in the practice arena, you've got no defender, so it really doesn't count. It doesn't help you. You're not sticking out your arm. You don't have any bumping and moving. You have no one to practice against. You could also go into offline matches. But I wanted to start out here, and if you're unfamiliar, you don't know how to execute a shield, you're going to be holding L2 if you're on the PlayStation, and it'll be LT if you're on the Xbox. And then you can move with it. And that's what's new this year, is outside of just using the shield, you can now turn with it in a 360 direction. And if you're really skilled, I'm talking you master being able to use and abuse that shield, you can start to do that 360 very quickly. You're going to see a couple examples I have in this video where if you haven't been trying to get involved with that shielding game, you might not have ever seen anyone use some of these 360 spins. It's almost as if it was a mini roulette. Not quite that quick, but you guys get the idea. But it's better in some forms because while you're turning, somebody can't reach in. You're going to draw a penalty kick. You're going to draw a foul. You're going to bump with them. If you have a physical player, you have an advantage. And we're going to start out with the traditional. And in this first freeze frame, this is one of the most common ways that I use the shield. It's not the ideal player or ideal candidate with Griezmann. Kind of like Hillary Clinton, Trump, we didn't have an ideal candidate. But in this circumstance, Smalling was going to bump on my back, and I'm using the shield, and I try to embrace the contact a little bit. Let me explain. So outside of just holding the shield, now you can move with it. You can come into somebody, you can go away from somebody. So if someone is pressuring you this direction, then it's good for you to shield, and then with the left analog stick, that way. So you kind of meet them. While they're coming in to tackle you, you meet them, and you embrace that contact. Another freeze frame. You just need more time for support. There's nobody there. We got a lot of space. And I feel that I have the advantage with Alaba. I believe my opposition in that situation was starting to try to push or shove me with a winger. And that's just not going to be a good matchup for him. Alaba's more physical. And this is about knowing your personnel. You're going to see a few more examples where I talk about understanding personnel, understanding situations, and reading what's the correct move, what's the best choice. But in that first freeze frame that I showed with Griezmann, I want to definitely touch on that. Once again, that's going to be a very common circumstance, maybe the most common. You hit him with a through ball, you're going to make it to goal, but you can tell that you're going to have to take a bump, use the shield, and try to go into that defender. And you will draw penalties. I'm telling you, you will draw fouls, you will draw penalties, you will win some of those bumps, especially if you have players like Ronaldo, like Lukaku, Daniel Sturridge, guys that have a little more physicality, they got some size to them. And let's talk about the 360 wave. So this is where we're using the 360 variation of the shield. It's nothing outside of just using the normal shield, but now you're turning with it, which deals with the left analog, and that's new. And it seems very normal when you're doing this. You're going to see me set it up here. I've got Coleman, not the most physical player, but I got a protection plan. We've got insurance. And I'm going to stop and pop. I've done a full tutorial on the fake shot, so if you're not sure how to do this, I might leave some links down below in the comments, in the description. You guys will have ample amount of tutorials and tips to click on, but look at how we set that up. And what's so beautiful about the shielding maneuver is because it's stationary, you can go straight into a fake shot, a scoop turn, even a body feint relatively easy. And you got the layoffs, and you're going to see plenty of those. I don't know how that goal went in. Ibra talked his way in. Actually, he scored a goal that was not that far off from that one in the, not the Champions League, but the UEFA, the secondary league, the one that we don't necessarily care about quite as much. Not to take anything away, but I remember the goalkeeper made a huge error, went to the back of that, similar situation. And then we have understanding the situation. So I've got Petit. I hit him with a through ball. I'm not going to be able to outpace that defender, which means I've got to hold up play a little bit, but Petit is very physical. And you have that advantage. We lay it off. Renato Sanchez, FUT Champions, 2-0, 18th minute. I appreciate you. And that's why I want you guys to register when and where to use the shield, or to use the pace control, or to use the fake shot, or the drag back, or the scoop turn. It's so important in these moments to choose the right option. Just like when you're making a pass. Do you use the normal pass? Do you hit the driven pass? Do you go with the through ball, chip through ball? You have to understand and register which is going to be best in that scenario. And this is all about angles. I could tell that the defender was going to beat me to the spot, so I need to pull it back. That's what you're seeing. We lay it off. Paul Pogba, the dab king. The dab king. Yeah, hit him. Hit him with that dab. Appreciate that, Mr. Pogba. It's a beautiful goal. But once again, I knew that I wasn't going to beat him for pace. And if you miss time a shield, it's not going to be a big deal, but you might run out of bounds. The ball might go past you. Those are the types of mistakes that can happen. Timing is important in everything in FIFA. Whether you're doing skills, whether you're shooting, whether you're looking for the pass, your angles and your timing will always be relevant. These are at full speed. Just look how nice that stop is from Ronaldo. And at no point during that 360 could that man tackle me. He's going to have to foul me. He can only reach across my body, and versus someone like Ronaldo, good luck. And I understand it is Ronaldo. But with many other players, same example, still going to work. Not going to be a Ronaldo exclusive. You saw a couple 360s actually. The one before that was with Renato Sanchez. Not a Ronaldo, a lot cheaper, 78 overall, very overpowered. Maybe the most overpowered player we've seen in FIFA 17. In these last few examples, I want to talk about the 50-50 bump. So when you don't have the ball and you're chasing for a 50-50, you can use the shield command, or you can use your tackle command, and it'll let you like kind of bump with the defender. And I'm going to rewind it. You might be able to see it. It looks small, but it is noticeable, and it will win more of these situations for you, where you're able to kind of shove them just a little bit. They're never going to call a foul, and you can beat them in the rundown, and we just do some lovely, lovely work there with the body feint, caught him slipping, lay it off. Yes, sir. And I've got another example here. This one's a little easier to see. Through ball, Gareth Bale. You're going to actually see me extend for a second. I think my opponent's player was just not ready yet. He didn't see what was going to go down. He wasn't ready yet. He might have been controlling someone else, but we're beating him for pace, as Gareth Bale should. It might be up against, is that going against Conte? But we're able to just nudge him a tad bit, and it gives us this major advantage. It kicks him back. He's no longer at full speed. Use it! You got to! But if you enjoy the content, please drop a thumbs up. You're brand new. Subscribe. Welcome to the channel. Oh, last thing that I'm going to note, and I might put this in front of a lot of videos. A lot of people have mentioned that they're not subscribed, or they're not getting notified when videos go live. If you fall in this category because YouTube is pushing their own agenda, please, there's a little bell. Hit that. It says notify me when an upload is happening, please. If you want to see my content, you don't want to miss an upload, use that. But I appreciate all the support, my friends. Until next time, peace.